What's up, everybody? Welcome to the House of Mario, episode 74, and we are the Nintendo Podcast, a part of the Epic Collective. I'm your host, Drew Agnew, and joining me, as always, is the delightful Super Smash brother, Bryce DeWitt.
Hello.
Today on the show, we're going to be talking a little bit about Super Smash Bros. Obviously, it's a game I've been waiting for a long time. A little bit of Nintendo news, as well as some other things we'll bring up later. But first of all, Bryce, we've been playing Super Smash Bros. All weekend. Absolutely love it. What's your initial thoughts after playing a heap of it over the weekend?
My initial thoughts. So, I'm enjoying it a fair bit. I have, minor gripes with it so far, but overall, it's going to require a little bit more time, I think, to get really down to the nitty gritty and just be like, hey, this is what I'm unhappy with, this is what I'm happy with. But so far, World of Light has been fantastic. I've got the full roster unlocked now, so I feel great about that.
Mm-hmm. Just to set the stage, we're going to be doing a full blowout of our impressions next week, our review discussion, like we did with Pokemon. But this week, we've only been playing it over the weekend, so we feel like we need to get some more time with the game before we actually do a big blowout discussion on it. So this is just our initial, very initial impressions.
Yeah. I mean, it is the game that we've been talking about all year with all the directs and everything that'll be coming out with it. So I think it's just easier if we just give it a little bit more time and make sure that we get all of our stuff up to snuff before we really dive head into it.
get our stuff up to snuff. All right.
Stuff up to snuff.
Yeah, but I've been really enjoying it as well. There's, like you said, there's a few minor gripes with it that I'll bring up. We'll bring up next week.
Yeah,
it might change by then. But yeah, really enjoying it. All the new characters are awesome. I feel like I'm leaning towards Inkling at the moment. Really enjoying playing as her. She's a lot of fun. I know you really like Richter.
Richter Belmont.
Would you say is he your favourite? He seems to be the one.
I love Richter. Richter's a fantastic character. I like the uniqueness that Simon and Richter bring to the game, but I just like how Richter plays a little bit more than Simon, to be completely honest with you. So
yeah. Well, what's the difference? Is he just a bit faster and sort of his moves do different damage?
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that he's got weaker attacks, but he recovers from them a bit faster.
Okay. Yeah, because I played as him, I think I unlocked him, I just played as him once. Oh yeah, have a go. I haven't played Simon much either. And I'm like, there's not that much difference. You can sort of tell the difference between maybe Marth and Lucina kind of easy enough.
Right.
But with those two, it was without knowing, I guess I don't know Simon that well to begin with, so it's hard to sort of distinguish the two. It just
feels like that Simon's got more recovering time from animations and stuff like that, and it kind of puts me off a little bit.
Yeah.
That, and maybe you'll just like Richter thematically a bit more.
Yeah. I can see that. Yeah, he's just he's wearing blue. Is blue a colour you prefer more?
Simon's got that old barbarian-esque feel, whereas Richter's more like, hey, I'm a new age vampire hunter type thing.
Yeah.
They might use particularly everything the same, but Richter kind of reminds me of Ike in a way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that does make sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was playing online the other day, and I obviously don't want to go too much into this either, but you know how we're talking about how they got rid of the 4 glory and the 4 fun modes?
Yeah.
And we said how that might be a poor choice.
Yeah.
It definitely is.
Oh yeah. No, everybody's complaining about it.
I'm like, set the rules. I'm like, all right, 4-on-4 lags too much, and I prefer 1-on-1 anyway. So 1-on-1, turn items off, final destination, because once again all the stage things makes it the latency even worse. So
yeah,
but yeah, put it in. It's still 4 players. Sometimes you get no items, but Yeah, like you never get what you want.
No. There's that, and just apparently according to the big names playing the game, the professional players and stuff like that, it's just, even if you get into Elite Smash, you're not guaranteed those matches where you're playing, 2 stock, 7 minutes, whatever the general rule set is.
Yeah.
You're just not guaranteed those matches, and it's kind of horse shit.
It's kind of baffling why they took it out. Like, they had such a good system. It's like, do you want this? Or do you want this?
I just don't know anybody who plays casual Smash online, if that makes sense. So I don't know, like, if they were going to go about it at all, maybe they should have just kept online to competitive rule sets or something, because just... I don't know anybody... Obviously, there is people, but...
Yeah, there's a lot... There would be a lot of people. Because, like, even sometimes I might feel like going on and playing with items and just, like, the chaos of... Like, really enjoying the chaos of what Super Smash Brothers
of all things
can be.
Of all things, though, the thing that's the most annoying is the fact that you can't turn off four-player Smash.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm forced to play with items and stage hazards, whatever, but at least put me in 1v1.
Yeah, I agree with that, yeah.
Like, I just prefer 1v1 when it comes to online, because not only is it, like, I don't know, it's more of a test for skill 1v1, but just the connection issues that are going on with switches, and apparently I'd been reading that, like, if you connect four switches up together and try to play the game, it says the connection's not very stable that way. Like, it actually warns you.
Oh, right.
So, why... That's really hard to make that an online option if it's going to tell you that. When that's local multiplayer too. Like, if you do that in a local multiplayer setting, it actually tells you that.
That's odd too, because Mario Kart works fine, and that's eight players.
Yeah.
So I don't really know why.
No, I don't either. But, like, again, if you're sitting in the same room with a bunch of people, you might as well just be playing on the one console regardless. It just it causes less problems in general. It's less likely to fuck up. But at the same time, it shouldn't be that bad. But if it's that bad on local, then how bad is it on Wi-Fi, sort of thing? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But, yeah. I know. Like, bringing up these points, we sound a bit negative on it, but yeah, no, we absolutely love this game. We played it heap on the weekend.
Offline, it's a phenomenal game. Yeah.
You come over to my place on the weekend. We did a couple of hour Twitch stream, played the game.
Yeah.
Ate some pizza. Like, it's a good excuse to sort of do that again. We haven't done that in too long.
Yeah. I agree.
You agree. Anything else you'd like to touch on Smash before we move on?
I just kind of want to give a hand to Sakurai and the team with World of Light, I guess. Like, I wanted Subspace 2, and I don't think that was a secret. I think I've mentioned that a few times, and it's not quite Subspace 2. There's not as many cutscenes or anything like that, but it's definitely like a much more unique way to approach a story mode.
Yep.
By basically making events into the event mode into a story mode, giving you like all sorts of different scenarios and stuff like that, and they throw boss battles mixed in there, which is great, and it's just a lot good about World of Light, and I'm really enjoying it. I can't wait to finish it and just be like, I did it.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it too. I'm not as far as you are. You're actually quite far. I'm probably just like a couple of hours in, but
yeah.
I enjoy how creative the battles are, how you're coming when you come across a spirit, and like, oh, how are they going to put this character in, and like stuff like Snorlax, where it's just like a huge King K. Rool, and he's just standing there.
Yeah, and then there's stuff like the Centurions from Kid Icarus. It's like 7 mini pits, and all they do is constantly fire arrows.
Yeah. Yes, like stuff like that. I think it's really, really smartly done.
Yeah, for sure.
And like, I'm not in a hurry to finish it. Really, I'm just gonna like chip away at it, do a few battles.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't in like too much of a rush either, but it was just it was a good excuse for me to be like, I'm learning the mechanics of this game, so I'll just play World of Light until I sort of get my handle on a couple things, and it's been working. So
yeah, you said you hadn't on the weekend, but have you gotten used to the new shield and dodge mechanics yet? Have you
I haven't put them into practice yet.
Yeah,
and
it's got like the perfect shielding and that. Like sometimes my opponent doesn't. Sometimes I might do it by accident, but I never. It's not a thing in the back of my mind which I'm thinking about.
No, it's not. Which is probably something I should be trying to get used to.
Yeah,
for the sake of my gameplay, yeah. But
I'm using the air dodge quite a bit now though. That's sort of snuck into my the back of my mind.
Yeah. You got to be careful with your air dodging.
Yeah, like you're left vulnerable. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I find it interesting too. Like when we get more used to it, there'll be like ways to like dodge back down to the ground to recover quicker and things like that.
Yeah,
which should be interesting to see how that all works out in the future. But yeah, next week we'll have a big blowout, big review discussion on Super Smash Brothers, about all the modes, all the characters which we want to discuss, and all of that fun stuff. But just at the moment we've only played it for the weekend, so we can't do it too much justice apart from a few light things.
That's it. Yeah, I agree.
Apart from Smash Brothers, I've still been playing Pokemon Let's Go. Still really enjoy it. I finally found that shiny Porygon again that I lost initially. It's funny too because I looked down at my screen and like a Pidgey or something ran into me, and and you know how it does that battle transition where it goes all blurry and whatever, and I could see like something blue. I'm like, is that it? And I'm like, oh, that's definitely it. So when I ran away from the Pidgey and I come back and there it was, just a shiny Porygon. I'm like, cool. I battled it, caught it. I'm like, fantastic, awesome. But after doing it for that long, I didn't have the reaction like you might see on like Twitch or something where I'm like, oh my god, and they do like the thing. They get out of their chair, go do like the victory lap, yes, and they come back and catch it. I just, oh sweet, it's finally there. Caught it, and probably one of the it's not necessarily a bad thing or whatever, but one of the worst things about the post game in Let's Go is just the fact that if you want to level up your Pokemon, you're pretty much going to be catching Pokemon, and catching Pokemon requires you to have money, and money only comes from trainer battles. So I got to a point where I'm like, all right, I don't have much money left, so I'm at a point now where I'm like, all right, I'm going to battle the gym leaders every day, and like go to a couple of the places where you get your items daily, and you can sell them to sort of try and keep your money up. So that's sort of where I'm at with Pokemon Let's Go at the moment. Really enjoying it. Gonna do some more shiny hunting and all that for probably months to come yet. Really liking it. Plan on doing the master trainers when I train up my team. And yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at with that game. Still really liking it. And I want the next Pokemon game to come already, but that's gonna be it's gonna be a year away.
So you can start building your competitive Pokemon team.
It's like when people saying, "Oh, I wonder if the next Pokemon game is going to be announced at the Game Awards," like the past weekend. And like I've already said this to you, Bryce, but I said if they announce Pokemon at the Game Awards, I'm going to be so pissed because we've spent a year waiting for this game. Then this game's out for 3 weeks, and they're like, "All right, here's the next one." I'm like, I don't want to be on this treadmill just waiting for games all the time. We finally got Pokemon and Smash. Just leave it for a bit. Give us a rest. I don't want to have to be on this hype train until E3 again. So, like, pretty much Smash is the only game you've been playing, Bryce? Or?
Yeah, pretty much to a T. I've been a very sick boy the past couple of weeks, and I haven't really had a lot of incentive to play video games because I've just been like, I just want to sleep. So
and that's pretty big for you too. You must have been bloody sick.
Oh, look, I missed work shifts I didn't want to miss and stuff like that, especially with Christmas being so soon. It felt absolutely awful to miss a couple of work shifts knowing that I'm not going to get paid for those ones I missed and all that stuff, and I just wanted to get over being sick as quick as possible. So it was just like, straight to bed, going to sleep. You know. I'd wake up, eat, relax for maybe a couple of hours, then go back to sleep again. It's it's been pretty serious. It's been food poisoning and then ear infections and migraines and like everything over the past 2 weeks. Smash is the only thing that I've like picked up my Switch and like really smashed some time into. So in a literal sense, I guess.
Yeah.
But
literal sense, you really smashed your Switch. Yeah.
Well, yeah, pretty much. So that's pretty much all I've done really, I guess, is just Smash. Even with Pokemon, like have like this super secret project going up, but and it was going to involve Pokemon, but I'm actually starting to think I might scrap and start next year with something completely different.
Okay.
I've left it too late now. Like all the information that was going to be present in the super secret project is now widely known, and
yep.
It's almost pointless in me, trying to put that out there and do that sort of thing. But I do want to keep doing it. If it weren't for me being sick, I would have had it out 2 weeks ago. But I got sick on the day that I was supposed to be doing particular setup stuff for it, and that's where it all sort of went downhill. I haven't even sat at my computer in a very long time.
Just to let the people know, so they're not like caught on a. They're not like, what the hell is he on about? You're talking about a video. You're making a certain video.
Well,
you're not starting a pottery class.
No,
or something like that.
No,
yeah.
Obviously not something. I think it's pretty obvious what I was talking about for the most part. I've got an idea for short burst YouTube stuff to go up on the 8-bit YouTube channel. For starters, I don't know whether we'll incorporate it into a YouTube channel in the future or whatever we're going to do, but it was just a topical thing about Pokemon for the release of that, but unfortunately being brought down as I was, because I'd like to consider that I managed to get through the game pretty quickly. And I'd come up with the idea pretty much after I'd beaten the Elite Four, and I was like, cool, I'm going to do this. I've done most of the assets to it, and then it came down to gameplay recording, and then I was just like, yeah, I came ill with the sickness, and then that was it for 2 weeks.
I came ill with a sickness. Come on.
Yeah, I got down with the sickness, mate. All right, yeah. So it sort of just brought me to this past 2 weeks sort of thing, and now all this information is readily available, and everybody knows it, and it's become really obvious, and that information's been chucked around. So throwing out a video like that at this point seems kind of pointless, and that sucks because I really wanted to get that out and start this new series, but yeah, I've left it too late now, and that sucks.
Yeah, we'll have plenty of time.
Oh, we'll have plenty of time. I've already got an idea for the next one, which won't have a time constraint attached to it.
Yep. Oh, that's good. Evergreen content, they call that in the industry, apparently. Yeah.
Exactly. So, that I can start that whenever I want, and if I take 4 months, then it doesn't matter. It'll come out. You know what I mean? And it'll still be relevant. So it's it's going forward just with a different video in mind. Probably start of next year.
Awesome stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Bryce, let's move on to the announcements that were made at the Video Game Awards this weekend. Yeah. Feels like ages ago now, but it was only a couple of days ago. That's right.
It was actually, yeah. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, it feels like ages ago, but it's only been a couple of days.
Yep.
So one was actually pretty surprising, is that exclusively coming to the Switch is Marvel Ultimate Alliance: The Black Order. So this is a series that's pretty much the last game that came out in the series was about 10 years ago. And it's actually quite surprising that this is an exclusive game for Switch.
Well, yeah, it is a little bit surprising, but maybe because of the way the games are, it'd just be easier to have, have it Joy-Con compatible and just work off that.
Yeah, the game's being made by Team Ninja, and it's being published by Nintendo. And I guess the reasoning behind it is like they can get away with sort of lower graphical fidelity and
all that neat stuff.
Yeah, so they don't have to like do a really impressive, PlayStation 4 Pro version and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Especially after Spider-Man's already come out on the PS4, and it's all like it's
that, or maybe it just sold better on those console on the Wii, or
Yeah, no, good point.
Family orientated consoles. I'm not sure a lot of people were too interested in playing something like that on your PS4 or your Xbox One, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah, like it's.
I just don't think it'd sell as well.
There is a bit. Like I haven't seen this personally, but there is a bit of hoo-ha, like people annoyed that it's exclusive to Switch and not coming to everything. But
there's always going to be outrage, though. That's just how it is.
That happens with most games that were multi-platform.
That's like what happened with Bayonetta when Bayonetta 2 wasn't even going to exist, and then Nintendo were like, "Hey, we'll fund it," and then people were just like, "Nintendo are greedy," and then you're just like, wait, how are they greedy? They funded it.
Yeah, like we get getting Bayonetta 3 now, so they
kept that series alive. Like without Nintendo's funding, Platinum never would have been able to make Bayonetta 2 or Bayonetta 3.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, the reason this is Switch exclusive could have been for a very similar reason. You never know. There might not have been a Marvel Alliance 3 unless Nintendo were like, "Hey, we really enjoyed the second one. Would you like to make another one, and we'll pay you to do it?"
I don't think we would have seen another one unless, because it's being developed by Team Ninja. I don't know who developed the original ones. I guess it was just a internal team at maybe Disney Games, or
maybe
someone like that. I've got no idea. I've never played a game in the series. So I wouldn't know much about it. But
no,
it's interesting that it's getting like a Marvel game as an exclusive. That's pretty big for a third party exclusive game.
Yeah, it's pretty big, And I mean, I'm happy about it, but it's also one of those titles I'll probably just be skimming past.
Yeah, it depends on the price. Like, if they want to charge 80, 90 Australian dollars for it, it's like, all right, no, not really.
No, I'll pick it up when I see it for 50 or something,
Yeah, for like 50, 60, that seems a better price for it. But I'm also not like a huge Marvel fan, like someone who's really into that series, and that's worth that.
And has to have every Marvel product. Like, I enjoy a Marvel movie, but I'm not that dedicated where I'm like, hey, I have to buy every single Marvel product on the planet.
Every single one. Bryce, you're 9 years old. You play Fortnite.
Yeah.
So they brought out the Fortnite Creative expansion, a part of Season 7.
The block.
Yeah, the block. Looks pretty cool. I haven't touched Fortnite since that night we played it online together, but yeah, looks pretty cool. Being able to like make your own essentially little town that you can play with your friends, and they can feature that on the actual Fortnite map itself. So that's really neat.
Yeah, where Risky Reels was. It's it's kind of like a shining light in the middle of the midst of a massive amount of bad Fortnite related news lately. So.
Oh, what's the bad news been?
Oh God! Like,
the bad news.
There's somebody created this dance move that was essentially like swiping left on your Tinder dates and right on your Tinder dates and all that bullshit by Mac Millie, or I really can't remember his rapper name. Don't even get me started. But he's trying to sue Epic Games, and then
all the dances with their like. They create them, and then Fortnite just puts them in the game, sells them for money. And the creators don't get any recognition or anything.
Yeah, that, and then Even the guy that started the moth meme trend is on their ass.
Why?
Because he's unhappy that he's not represented.
The moth meme.
The moth meme. Yeah.
How is that in Fortnite? What have they done for that?
Oh, they made a Mothman superhero type skin and made a lamp pickaxe.
Really?
Yeah. So that guy's tossing up about it. And then the thing that happened over the last 12 hours in Australian news, where you had that stupid idiot that was hitting his pregnant wife on his stream.
Shit.
Because she wouldn't let him finish his Fortnite game.
Well, that's not on, I'll tell you.
Well, no, it's not on.
It's not really the game's fault, though.
No, it was a really... but how much bad rap has Fortnite got in Australian media that it needs this? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. We've done episodes and skits about it before. It's just
exactly, stupid. But it's really dumb. The clip is on the internet. It's video evidence, and it's floating around Twitter and stuff like that. And it's basically just two adults acting like children, and that's how it ended up in a woman getting punched. Like it was a real silly situation. He was an absolute pig for hitting her. He shouldn't have done that. That was terrible. But she also shouldn't have come back like every 15 seconds to yell at him and call him a woman basher and instigate getting hit more, because that's what she did. I don't know. It's really silly.
Yeah, it sounds like they got some things to sort out.
Well, he's going to court, so
yeah, as he should.
But she's also reportedly been fined because she instigated it, and they were doing it in front of their two like very young children.
Oh God.
Yeah,
that's awful.
It's stupid, and it's got jack shit to do with Fortnite. It's just two adults being absolutely childish, but it still makes Fortnite look bad again in Australian media. Fortnite makes you violent, kids.
Yeah, speaking of violence, Mortal Kombat 11 got announced for Switch. This is the biggest announcement. This is huge.
Yeah, it's
Mortal
great.
Kombat, a multi-platform game, is coming day and date on the Switch, which is April 23rd. Yeah, and it'd be interesting to see what it looks like and how it runs and how it compares to the other versions. Yeah, no, really, really interesting to see, especially since back in the day, Mortal Kombat was banned and all that, and censored
heavily.
Yeah, on Nintendo platforms. So, yeah, no, awesome to see.
I feel like Nintendo's catching up with the times and that type of thing, though.
Oh yeah, well,
they're just making it so that like they've got more parental controls and stuff like that, and then they can keep the higher ratings on games like that up, and then if parents don't do anything about it, then it's their own fault, which is absolutely how it should be anyway.
Well, we're actually seeing a fair few mature games come to Switch. We're seeing a fair few horror games, and things of that nature. But yeah, no, I was going to say something, but I forgot what it was now. Doesn't matter. We'll move on. And the last one that was announced at the Game Awards was I'm going to have to. So Say Nawara Wild Hearts, which is like an indie game, and they describe it as a music video dream about being awesome, riding motorcycles, skateboarding, dancing, battling, shooting lasers, wielding swords, and breaking hearts at 200 miles per hour. Every stage in the game is set to a song on a custom written pop album. And it launches on Switch in 2019. I thought this looked really cool. This was the first announcement at the Game Awards, if you can remember that. Yeah, really stylized, really cool music. I'm a sucker for rhythm games too, and like stylish rhythm games especially.
Just to correct your name blunder, it is most definitely Sayonara Wild Hearts.
Okay, what did I say?
You were like Sayo.
Yeah, I just. Yeah.
You completely blundered it. I just thought I'd double check it.
No, well, thank you very much. Someone has to check up on my shit, Bryce.
Well, I mean, you and names don't get along, mate.
No, no, definitely don't. So I'm personally looking forward to seeing more on that one, and obviously, the biggest Nintendo news to come out of the Game Awards was the Joker from Persona 5 announced for Switch to be a part of the DLC pack. He's going to be the first one coming. That was out of left field. I found out through you. I wasn't watching live at the time. You were just like, guys, in the group chat. You're like, Joker's in Switch, in Smash, and my very first thought was, why? But then,
he's in Persona Q2.
Yeah, it's like, he's in Q2. I'm like, oh yeah, well, I guess that's one game. But they're not once they say, hey, he's from Q2. It's all like Persona 5. They're really pushing the Persona 5 angle, which is the bigger game.
Yeah, well,
obviously.
Persona 5 has really started to, like, it really gave the series a push into the mainstream.
Yeah.
Like, incredibly. That Persona game is absolutely fantastic. And a lot of this is obviously... it's feeling very foreshadowy.
Hopefully.
That we get Persona 5, what essentially people are calling Crimson, which is the equivalent of Persona 4 Golden on the Switch. So the typical thing to take away really is that the Vita is not really... nothing is really being developed for the Vita anymore, which means that if they want a portable version of Persona, then they might be looking into Nintendo as their option.
Yeah, well, like a lot of the not Japanese, the Vita really thrived on like Japanese development. A lot of these like Persona and JRPGs, a lot of the Digimon games and all that, like came to the Vita, and that was one of the best things about the Vita, was having access to those games. Since the Vita is like been dying very slowly for the last couple of years, these games are coming to Switch now. Like next year, we're getting like a Digimon game that's coming to the Switch rather than the Vita, and like a lot of those types of games. So it's only natural that these other bigger games will be coming to Switch as well. So hopefully, I really want to see Persona 5 on Switch. I think it would be awesome.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And
that's my favourite JRPG of that year, and that was the same year that Xenoblade Chronicles 2 came out too.
Yeah.
And Nier Automata. Like,
that was a good year for Japanese.
Oh, it was so good for the JRPGs. Games, It was amazing.
Yeah, like a lot of places are saying like, oh, there's a rumor out that Persona 5's coming to Switch next year, and I just feel like anyone could have made those rumors. Like these sites that are reporting on it, it's like, really, guys? Like I could say that. I could say that Persona 5's coming to Switch because the character was announced for Switch and Smash.
No, well, look, it's people being clickbaity for clickbaity reasons, and this is why I don't like potential leaks. And like, I speak out against people like Emily Rogers or Laura Kate Dale for making stupid leaks like that or whatever. Because really, like, it's plain to see. It's kind of just like, well, they're putting Joker in Smash, but what does it mean? Does it mean that we're gonna get Persona 5? And then it's just like, we will see. And now all of a sudden, people are just like, big leak rumor, Persona 5 is coming to Switch.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, no, they're making assumptions based on what happened with the Smash reveal, which is understandable, but that doesn't mean it's a rumor or a leak. It's literally just general consumers being like, this must mean that.
Yeah. Let's try and break it down, like, for the two situations. So, obviously, if Persona 5 is coming to Switch, they would have been in talks with Nintendo a long time ago for getting dev kits, developing it. like working all this stuff out, how it's going to be published in the West, whether Atlas publish it, whether Nintendo publish it. Like, there's a lot of things going on there. So whether they were doing that and that's how they got in the talks about having the Joker in Smash, and they kind of worked out they can tie it in the Smash and sort of announce it in a Direct and bring it out next year. Or if it's not the case, if Persona 5, if Joker isn't, if Persona 5 isn't coming to Switch and it is just the character at the moment, I think it is like just try and broaden sort of the Smash audience and like the Switch audience to really like reach out to a game that's really popular on PlayStation at the moment, and try and get a piece of that pie. Yeah. And that's also why they showed it off at the Game Awards too. Like, they could have say one of the characters was like, I don't think any of the characters are just a Nintendo character, but say like, one of them is I don't know, a Pokemon or Waluigi. If they did that at the Game Awards, everyone's like, oh yeah, cool, Waluigi's coming to Smash, great. But this was really to try and get like a chunk of another audience.
Yeah, gauge interest.
To hype them up. Yeah.
Yeah. There was something I was going to say on the matter.
It's amazing how it just leaves your head. Like, you remember after the podcast.
I will, and then I'll just be like, shit, you know. Oh, actually, no. Now I remember. I was talking to Dash about it briefly, and he's a massive Persona fan.
Yes.
And he seems to. I'm pretty sure he seems to think that it'll probably be in the Direct early next year that it'll get announced. But honestly, I don't think Persona 5, if it's going to be announced for Nintendo consoles, I do not think that game will be announced until they finally announce Crimson or whatever or Golden or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, Deluxe, whatever you want. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be announced for Switch until that is announced, and that'll be when it'll get announced. So I don't think it'll be in a Nintendo Direct or anything like that. I think it will be announced by Atlas themselves, because that game is also obviously going to be on PlayStation 4. Yeah, so I think it's best not to hold onto it too tight for now, because I think it'd be quite a while before we do actually get a full confirmation as to whether we'll actually see it on the Switch.
Yeah. Like, you can't really tell, like, if they are going to announce it, you can't tell if it's going to be February or whether it's going to be April.
No,
it's going to be some point next year, obviously. Whenever they're ready to reveal, like, I guess the gameplay trailer for Joker, I think that's when they'll go, all right, let's drop the announcement of the game coming to Switch then, to sort of drum up hype with the Smash sort of announcement at the same time. So whether that's in February, when they probably will do a Direct, or they'll wait a bit later, maybe a couple of months into April, or
whenever it may be.
Yeah, like yeah. Like, a lot of people are trying to guess what month it's going to be. So maybe don't worry about the month so much.
Yeah.
Just whether it's a thing in the first place. And yeah. But personally, I really want it. I hope it's going to come.
Yeah. No, so do I. I will buy that game again gladly. It's like one of the games that I've held onto my PS4 for. Because I really love that game. And it's obviously PlayStation exclusive, so.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be a huge get for Nintendo for sure. So this is a quote from Reggie at the Game Awards when he was talking to Jeff Keighley right after the reveal trailer, which was really well done actually. We didn't talk about that, how sort of the Joker and the team come in and like they stole a Smash invitation and
the lights cut out. They had like a buzz up on the screen, and then it had like a dialogue between the Phantom Thieves asking. It started off with Joker saying, "I've infiltrated the Game Awards. I'm going in," and then a big monologue between the rest of the Phantom Thieves talking about why he's there.
Yeah,
and then it ended up Morgana saying he's going to steal the most precious treasure of them all, and then Joker catches an envelope in his hand and then like turns it, 180 degrees, and it's got a Smash stamp on it.
Yeah. I like how that psyched everyone out. Like I already heard the announcement before I watched the trailer, but I like watching the reactions. Like people are like, oh,
yeah, it psyched the shit out of people. It was
Persona
like
5 and they
what?
it's like Smash. Like, awesome, yeah.
It was really exciting for me. I was just like, holy crap.
Yeah.
Because Persona 5 was the game that personally got me into the series. I didn't have like a shit ton of interest before then, but after Persona 5, I was like, wow, this is fantastic. So
you were in for the long haul.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So this is the quote from this is what he said this is what Reggie said at the Game Awards. He said, "It's emblematic of the approach that Mr. Sakurai and the team are taking with the DLC. He wants characters that are unique and different to bring them into the Super Smash Bros. Environment. So it's going to be tremendously exciting." Mr. Sakurai, he's not only a student of Nintendo franchises, and obviously he's had his hand in a few, but he's a student of video games from a total perspective. He's also been the driver in really thinking about the type of characters coming into Super Smash Bros. Ultimate would bring a whole different level of fun and enjoyment for the player. That's been the approach. That's the thinking. I hope the fans are excited by the Joker announcement. I hope they're looking forward to the future announcements. I'm just skipping a few things here which aren't important. That's why I'm umming and whatever. I hope it gives them confidence to just go and buy the Fighters Pass. That way they can get the latest fighter as soon as it's available and continue building out their roster in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Got to shield that Fighters Pass, Reggie. Good boy.
Yeah, I know. It's just like, I hope this means you guys will spend money and I can rest easily over Christmas knowing the investors are happy. You may as well have just said that. So for goodness sakes, you've spent $90 on this game. Where's the extra $30? Come on. I can't comment on Persona 5 Switch. Again, from our perspective, we've been clear. We want the best content on our platform. All the best content, all the best developers. And so our job is to continue the install base for Nintendo Switch to drive engagement for our players, to grow the audience. As that happens, then the developers will see the opportunity, he said.
What a lad.
What a lad.
What a lad.
So, I guess this really opens up opportunities for what the rest of the Fighters Pass is going to be, because obviously they're not afraid to go and tackle franchises that are very prominent on other platforms. Like even if Persona 5 does come to Switch, Persona's been like on PlayStation its whole life. Like it's just that's what you think about. And obviously thinking about the Cloud and other characters they've introduced.
But I mean, if Cloud can get Final Fantasy VII on the Switch, then I don't see why the Joker couldn't get Persona 5 on the Switch.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes over the next year. I hope we'll see it.
Yeah,
and
me too.
To be honest, when it pops up, I'm not going to be that surprised. I'm going to be pretty happy. But
yep, and maybe you'll finally play the damn game.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I will. Probably. So another little small story is that Warframe has reached 1 million players on Switch, which is pretty huge for like Warframe. It's a big game, but it's not the biggest game. It's not like when Fortnite came out to the Switch and everyone jumped on that. Yeah. I think it's great that they've found a big audience on the Switch, because it's quite a different game compared to what you'd expect to for people to be playing on the system.
It's free to play though. Free to play games usually blow up pretty well within the first month of their release on any given platform, and then they die down to a more realistic number.
Yeah, no, true. Yeah.
So yeah, suppose we'll see where it is. Warframe runs really well on the Switch actually, as long as you turn off the motion blur, which PC players do as well. So don't don't think that that's just a Switch problem. The motion blur in that game is poorly handled. It's absolutely shocking, and everybody knows it. But other than that, it plays absolutely fine. I've had absolutely no trouble with it, and it's a really worthy free-to-play game if you just want something that's not Fortnite PvP or Arena of Valor PvP or anything like that. It's PvE, co-op, and a bunch of fun. So it's not surprising to see it get downloaded so much. You can carry over all your progress if you're already a player from the PC, I think. I'm not sure if that's PC exclusive at the moment or whether that includes your profile from other consoles as well.
All right. It's not like cross progression, is it?
Yeah, no, you keep all your progression.
Oh, you do. Yep. So
you do, yeah.
You can jump from one.
You can jump from one to the other, but the only issue is that all the platforms don't update at the same time. They update within a week of each other.
Right.
So if PC will always be the first to update because it's the best place to play test the patch, and then they'll push it to consoles. So there will be times every now and then where there's just a week where
you can't sync.
You can't sync, yeah.
Right. Yep.
So you just need to be careful about that type of thing. Just make sure that if you're playing on one platform during the week, then that you don't play the other one until they're syncable. Just so you don't end up accidentally syncing your old profile or whatever with all your new stuff that you can't have, sort of thing.
I was thinking about downloading it, but I saw it was 13 gig, and I'm like,
it's quite large. It's quite large.
I thought, maybe not just yet. I'll
get a bigger SD card first. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think I'll like it, or?
I think you have reasons to enjoy it. I think you'd probably play it more than a PvP game.
Yeah.
PvP's not really your thing.
I want to play with everyone.
With everyone.
All right, Bryce. So that takes us to the end of the news. I just want to give a quick shout out to the Kind of Funny Games showcase that happened on the weekend as well.
Yes.
For those who aren't aware, Kind of Funny's Greg Miller put on basically an indie showcase because PlayStation Experience didn't happen in the US this year, so he still wanted to celebrate the smaller games, so he reached out to some creators and they got 60 plus games on an hour showcase, which is...
I think it was nearly 89 games in total.
I think according to their Twitter account, it was 69 because all the comments were nice, like nice. So yeah, no, there were a really big handful of Switch games coming, which I don't have written down. I don't have enough to say about them. But
some even released that day as well. Some developers left the release date for that day, so
Mike Biffle's was it Quantum? I can't remember what it was. Quantum something that released that day. And that was only a $9 game too. So I'm not sure how much it is. Mike he puts it as a Mike Biffle short, so it must be just a couple of hours type of deal. But it looks interesting. It's like a sort of conversational, sort of where you're picking your dialogue, and could be interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I recommend if you're into indie games and you're looking for what's coming to your Switch and things like that, definitely go and check it out. It's on the Kind of Funny Games YouTube channel, and it's titled the Kind of Funny Games Showcase.
Yes.
So yeah, go and have a look at that.
Yep, absolutely. It was definitely a fun watch, and a lot of interesting games come out of it. So I recommend watching it as well. And discussion before the show, I said that I think we're better off just pushing people in that direction so that, they do a similar thing next year, because if they garner enough attention from it, then they'll see that it's worth it, and maybe they'll just keep doing it,
That, from what they're talking about, they're not planning on doing a yearly thing, especially if PlayStation Experience comes back and this weekend's already filled up again with announcements from PlayStation and Game Awards and that. Obviously, there's no room for a kind of funny thing, but
obviously not. No, but like just in case, like in 2 years' time or something like that, they're just like, hey, let's host another one, and then we get like a whole slew of indie games of this because the show was really well paced.
Yeah, it was really well paced, and it was obviously they took a lot of inspiration from Nintendo Directs, how they sort of do the announcements and like the bits in the middle, and they're explaining things and
yeah, exactly. And I think that's why I enjoyed it a fair bit. So, I would say go over there and watch it, and we'll leave the surprises to whoever's watching it there.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So, Bryce, that pretty much is all we've got for the show. But obviously, before we end, we did talk about last week how we were nominated for the Podcast Award in the Dash Awards 2018.
We did indeed,
and we took it out. We
did take it out like a sniper from a perch.
From a perch. And like I thought we had no bullets in the gun, but Jesus, it must have worked.
Yeah. So this was really big for us. We'd heard prior to the announcement, just so that we could prepare something for the actual announcement. But we end up couldn't not being able to do it because I was sick and Drew was working a lot. So. Thank you, Dash, for preparing that.
Yeah, no, he did an excellent job with the edit of the highlights reel. Just thank you very much for that, Dash. Because was it the Thursday and the Friday was like mid-30s here, and I was out sharing all day, and I was just absolutely wrecked. Like I hate the heat. I hate the heat just sitting in it or just in it.
Yeah.
Let alone having to like work your ass off in it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like it just kills me. So. Yeah, I went straight to bed both nights.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But guys, thank you so much for like voting for us.
Look, it's capped off our year. I think
it really has.
Like,
it means a lot to us, and just the fact that like we were nominated in the first place. Like Bryce and I were stoked. Like initially, just from that, like there's a couple of people in the judges who like even know about the podcast, or let alone think we're
worthy enough to be nominated.
Yeah, worthy enough, and like we were amongst like a really fantastic podcast too.
Yeah. 8-Bit's own Hungry Gamers, and then there was even the Sacred Symbols, Colin Moriarty's podcast.
And I remember the first night too. I noticed we were on like something like 20-something votes, because at this time you could see where the votes were, and eventually Dash must have turned it off, so you couldn't see what the tallies were at the time. But we were on like 20-something. I'm like, oh, Bryce, we actually got 20-something votes. That's awesome. Like, I don't, and I think like the next day, like Sacred Symbols, Colin Moriarty's PlayStation podcast, that went up to 200.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh shit. Well, Colin's would, because just for context, like Colin Moriarty, his podcast, it probably gets something like 50,000 listens,
about 50,000
a week,
viewers.
Where we're about like 100 and so, like it's just no contest. Like obviously, if he pushed it and all that, yeah, there wouldn't have been much of a contest. But
no.
No, absolutely stoked. Thank you so much for the guys in the Discord who were who like voted for us. Jamie Penning, who really rallied behind us on Twitter and reposted stuff and said, "Come on, guys, let's vote for the House of Mario." And
let's push them up.
Yeah.
I put out a big thank you thing on Twitter, but I'd like to reiterate on it real quickly without making too much of a fuss about it. Thank you to our lovely community again. As Drew said, we love you guys. We love talking to you in the Discord and everything on the daily, or bi-daily, depending on what's going on in our lives. And we appreciate you guys being around, and really hope you stick around for a long time.
We appreciate it like you wouldn't believe. honestly.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Like, I never thought I'd be able to generate even just the small following we have, let alone such a passionate one. So we really appreciate it. I'd also like to thank fellow content creators, people like, Dill, who's been on the show a couple times, Eric, Dash, Buddy, Paul James, just a whole slew of people, and I know I'm going to forget the rest, because there's just so many that have just jumped in on the show and been our guests, or who've replaced me, or even once Drew for the week, just so we can sort of get our things together and do what we need to. It's been an absolute pleasure working with all of you. We've enjoyed being on your shows too. And to be completely honest with you, you guys are just as much as an inspiration as some of the biggest podcasters out there for us, just knowing how quality your content you make.
It's really awesome to see how much quality stuff is coming out of Australia.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And a lot of stuff like that doesn't get, I guess, the recognition, because it's just so hard to sort of work your way up and get seen on iTunes or Twitter or whatever it might be as well.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And the last subset of people that I wanted to thank is anybody that's been a guest on this show since we've first pushed it up there. From our even our first guests, Michael Janoska from Hot Chocolate Party. That was an absolutely incredible experience for us, and it definitely drove us to do a lot more of them. And ever since that first interview with Michael, it's been sort of a kick for us to have guests on, whether they be game creators or content creators or even professional players. For Splatoon we had and ARMS with the fur,
or just big Nintendo fans, like having Luke on episode 33.
Absolutely,
awesome as well.
Having you guys come to the table and bring your own experiences, and like us talking to you about your own journey, whether it's through Nintendo or something completely different. It's been unreal to hear all these different stories that come out of this community that loves Nintendo so much. And the door is always open for more guests, whether you're just plain old Joe, or whether you're, I don't know, Shaquille O'Neal, who really liked, I don't know.
Are you going to reach out to him?
Metroid Pinball on DS or something, I don't know. Yeah, just reach out to Shaquille O'Neal. Hey, Shaquille O'Neal, you want to come on the podcast to talk about Metroid Pinball, that game?
Yes.
The game that you really loved? And he's just like, yes.
I'd love to. Yeah. No, but, yeah.
I think it really goes without saying, like, everybody that supported this podcast has brought us to where we are today. And the Dash Awards, just winning the Dash Awards alone, and it was an absolute cap off to what was already a brilliant year.
Yeah, like I don't want to go too much into it because I want to do a
end of year episode.
Yeah, an end of year episode. So I don't want to like.
No, I just wanted to thank people.
Yeah, but like it was just like just phenomenal. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. Thank you so much to everybody.
You're like, if I start talking, then I won't stop talking.
Yeah. All right, Bryce, we'll end the show there. Thank you very much for listening to the House of Mario episode 74. When I say like episode 70 something, it just does not roll off the tongue. 74.
74.
60,
have we really been doing this for so long?
No, in the 60s it worked well. Like episode 63, it's like 70. I don't know, it just doesn't roll off the tongue.
74.
We are the podcast we are the Nintendo podcast of the 8-Bit Collective. There's actually a few podcasts. Which
yes,
you should go
10 of them, in fact, with 22 individual podcasters.
Yes. So if you'd like to go and have a look at those, go to 8bit.net. Check those out. There's news, gaming, interviews, D&D. Yeah, there's some.
There's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, stuff. If you'd like to join our Discord community, there is a link in the show notes.
Please do. We love people. We love people popping in.
Oh, we do love people.
Ooh. Yes, we do.
I like good people. Not bad people.
Yeah, don't invite Trump. All right.
Donald Trump. Hey guys, just want to talk some Nintendo.
Listen, we have to build a wall to keep Mario out.
But he's Italian. I don't care. He's got a mustache.
God damn it.
I played Mario Odyssey. He's wearing a sombrero. I'm not stupid. I don't know.
We need to build a wall.
Nintendo Jukebox this week is a Super Smash Bros. Ultimate remix of Lifelight by Chime.
Ooh, baby.
We've had Chime featured on the podcast before. And this is a really cool remix of the main theme in Super Smash Bros. So please enjoy. And join us next week for our full review discussion on Super Smash Bros. Ultimate for Nintendo Switch.
It could be a very long episode, that one too.
Yes, it might be over half an hour.
Over half an hour.
Well, we got like, this episode went for an hour. We thought this one was going to be a slow one, but
yeah, I think the Game Awards kind of bumped it up a bit.
Yeah, we just had some natural back and forth, so that's all right.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, we'll see you next week.
Ta-ta.
Ready? Smash!